UB.net presents Poker2Nite. Coming up on tonight's show, November 27th may someday become an official poker holiday. Thank goodness it's not the UIGEA. Find out why Congressman Barney Frank and the PPA might be the patron saints of poker. Also, we crashed an LA home game to hear what poker players think they know about the Unlawful Internet Gambling Enforcement Act. And it's way less than you'd guess. If you don't want to take our word for it, we'll speak to the chairman of the Poker Players Alliance, John Pappas. He'll tell us why he thinks online poker is legal and how you can do your part to bring it back to the States. It's actually pretty easy. We've got a new segment, All In Blind, where we'll take it to the showdown every time as we duke it out on the mystery topics of the day. Oh, and if you're feeling a little lost with all the jargon at the poker table, fear not. Tonight we'll be cracking the spine of the Poker2Nite dictionary. All that and Dana Workman stacks them off in the weekly misdeal on Poker2Nite. Hello everyone and welcome to Poker2Nite. I'm Scott Huff and alongside me is poker professional Joe Sebok.
Thank you, broadcast professional Scott Huff. You know, one of the things I'm pretty fired up about for tonight's show is that we're finally going to be cracking open the poker dictionary. I think that you and I tend to use terms sometimes that not everybody at home understands. You know, maybe things like Dana Workman stacks them off. Let's hope that the network doesn't bleep that one, huh?
I think we're going to be all right. It just means to take someone else's chips, so no harm, no foul. We will be doing our Poker2Nite dictionary later on in the show. Also coming up on tonight's show, we went to a home game to find out what some poker players think about the present state of online poker. The results are a little scary. We'll be joined via Skype video call by John Pappas, chairman of the Poker Players Alliance, the group that lobbies on behalf of poker players in Washington, D.C., and he's going to set everybody straight on what he thinks the political climate is right now. And Sebok and I are going to go all in blind on some of this week's other headlines. But for right now, it's good game, UIGEA, or the Unlawful Internet Gambling Enforcement Act. Well, not quite. This week, the Poker Players Alliance scored a mini victory in Washington as they were able to delay the date on which banks would be forced to comply with the UIGEA. Originally, banks were given until December 1st to stop all transactions related to the transfer of funds for the purposes of what the government considers to be illegal internet gambling. Now that date has been pushed back 6 months until June of next year. And Joe, although it's not the full year that the PPA asked for, it is something.
Absolutely. But I don't think that we should start lying to ourselves and telling ourselves that all these sites are going to start popping up all over the United States again. Basically, all this did was maintain the status quo. We're still in a situation where only a few of the sites are going to be willing to risk accepting U.S. customers, but if this thing had gone through, it really might have crippled the entire industry.
Sure. I mean, it hardly seems like a cause for a celebration to just stay afloat, but I think it does mean a few things symbolically. Number one, the only way that this delay was going to be possible is if the message is being heard by more and more influential people. And then number two, those influential people have to go out and get the message out there. You know, the PPA received letters from financial institutions, from financial conglomerates, from banks, and even from congressmen as well.
And one of those influential congresspeople, Barney Frank, has long been a champion of the poker cause. He actually is the chairman of the House Financial Services Committee, which pretty much makes him one of the most influential members of Congress. So the PPA has a pretty powerful ally in Barney Frank moving forward.
I don't think any of that really means much, though, if poker players aren't aware of the problem. And it seems to me that a lot of people don't even know what's going on in regard to the UIGEA.
Now, see, I don't agree with that at all. I think people really do understand the UIGEA. And once again, I've taken it to 5th Street, or in this case, it was actually a Los Angeles home game, to see what these poker players know about the UIGEA. I went to the Sherman Oaks home of Eric Death Row Audet for his weekly poker night and talked to his friends to find out just how much the average recreational player knows about the PPA and the UIGEA. Do you know what the PPA stands for?
Not really.
Do you know what the PPA stands for?
Absolutely not.
I don't know PPA.
PPA. I've not heard the PPA.
Poker Professional Association?
Poker Players Alliance?
Yes, I have heard of that. What do they do?
What does UIGEA stand for?
What does the UIGEA stand for? I have no idea.
UIGEA.
UIEGA.
UIGA?
The UIGEA, I have no clue.
I have no idea.
United Internet Gaming. What's the other part? EA?
UIGEA, I don't know.
Entertainment Action.
If they weren't having an affair with Tiger Woods, I haven't heard about it.
There was some law about the poker, but then it got postponed. Is that it?
Do you feel that online poker is legal or illegal?
Legal. It is legal right now.
I know that it's
pretty much illegal in most of the United States.
From my understanding, it's legal, I think.
Right now, I think it's legal.
I know there was some legislation, big legislation came down, 2 years ago, saying it's definitely not legal.
UIGEA stands for the Unlawful Internet Gambling Enforcement Act.
It's the proposed federal law prohibiting bank transfers to and from online gambling.
Basically means that you can't gamble on the internet.
It was recently postponed another 6 months at the request of the PPA to give Congress a chance to re-examine the issues.
Well, clearly those guys had their facts straight, right as usual, Sebok.
Wow, some of those guys really made me look bad, huh? Please, people, educate yourselves. Educate yourselves.
Well, that was just a sample of a few random players' opinions. We can get the expert opinion from PPA, that's Poker Players Alliance, Executive Director John Pappas, on a Skype video call in the next segment. But for now, let's check in with Dana Workman and see what she's workmaning on for the Weekly Misdeal.
Nice one, Scott. You stick to reading the news, though. And Joe, you stick to whatever it is that you do.
Ouch, sometimes her words, they hurt.
All right, why don't you just tell us what's in the Weekly Misdeal?
My pleasure, Scott. Tonight on the Weekly Misdeal, TeamPokerStars.net picks up a new Irish pro. Old ladies get thrown into the clink for playing in a home game. And Phil Hellmuth, Jen Harmon, Daniel Negreanu, and Scotty Wynn get naked. Woo woo!
All right, Dana, thanks for that. Still more to come on Poker Tonight. Not everybody knows what's legal about online poker, but John Pappas from the PPA will share his opinion on the subject via Skype video call on Poker Tonight right after this.